access to today's session. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So my name is Treasure Akirpo. I am the consultant and partnership lead at Analytics and Analytics business as well. And today's session, we are going to be making use of AI, specifically Microsoft's Copilot, being able to use it in Excel and Power BI to carry your day-to-day activities as a data analyst, as an individual making use of these data tools. And it promises to be super, super exciting. But before we go ahead, I would like to know where everyone is joining us from. I'm currently in Lagos, Nigeria, and it would be nice to know where each and every one of us is joining from so that we can ensure that this session is as interactive as possible. So if you are joining us from Lagos or Abuja, wherever in Abuja or wherever in Nigeria, or across the world, just drop the location in the chat and then we can acknowledge you. So let me know where you're joining us from before we get started in today's session. Fantastic. Hi, Olisa. Welcome to today's session. Olisa is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm expecting a lot more responses. We have over 14 people on the call, so it'll be nice to know that you are engaging. Because just like the message said, we need you to be with your writing materials, with your laptop to ensure that you are getting as much value as needed. All right, thank you, Abraham. Abraham says he's joining us from Lekki Chevron, that's in Lagos, Nigeria. So welcome to you and thank you for joining today's session. It's really great to have you on here. So without wasting much time, we're going to go right into today's session because all right, hi, Favor. Favor is joining us from Ijaniki, Lagos. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's session. It's going to be an amazing session. So just like I've mentioned earlier, please ensure that you have your laptops on, you have loaded Excel and Power BI because that's going to be the major tools that you're using today. And it will be very nice to practice along with the facilitator because the best way to learn is by actually doing it alongside with him. So I'm going to do a brief introduction about the organization that is taking this particular webinar session, and then we would have the facilitator come on. So like I earlier mentioned, today's session is how to leverage Copilot in Excel and Power BI to help with your reporting as well as to automate your process end to end. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. And a quick one in terms of who is presenting this. So the name of the organization presenting this, if you've never heard of us before, is Analytics Business. So Analytics Business is an offshoot from Analytics, and we are in the business of providing educational services to organizations as well as individuals, empowering them with the next necessary technical skills to be able to do their day-to-day activities, to ensure that they are more productive and basically help the organization achieve its objective. So we have a lot of courses across the programs that we offer, and some of you might be aware that we have open programs specifically in generative AI and AI automation, but we play in different spaces like data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, software engineering. Depend on the course that you are looking for, you can just reach out to us and then would provide services to you. So that's pretty much a quick snippet of who we are and what we do. So, without further ado, I have already unveiled our facilitator for today. So if Daniel is on here, it will be a good time for you to unmute so that we can proceed with today's session. Hi, Daniel. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Treasure. Good evening. How are you doing?
All right, fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead to step down and allow Daniel give his session. Why I'm doing this is because we have a lot to cover today, and I want to make sure that we are within time. So we're going to keep introductions to a very minimal, and you're going to go straight into the practicals of today, and then we would have the final wrap-up session right after that. Okay. All right then. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to step off now, and Daniel would continue by providing the necessary information as well as the practicals he has planned out. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. Over to you.
Okay, Treasure, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity you have given me to be here tonight. And it's also very wonderful to have your beautiful faces here, even though I cannot see you virtually, but I believe we have handsome and beautiful faces right here who are eager to learn. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, my name is Daniel. I'm a senior data science associate at Analytics. I've experience in AI and tech experience for quite a number of years now. And so tonight, I'm going to be walking you through a major tool in the world of artificial intelligence. Everybody wants to, you've heard this saying that it is better to work smart, right? Work smart than working hard. And yes, while that is true to a very reasonable extent, we can also see that there is working smart, there's working hard. Sometimes working smart is just a way to be lazy, right? But when you combine, there is a mix of working hard and working smart that you can have that is going to produce better results than just working, maybe working hard only and then maybe working smart only. So smart work will help us to work better. And so that's why today I want to talk about how to leverage on Copilot in Excel and Power BI for reporting and automation. So what does it mean when we are using Power BI for reporting and automation? Simply means that we have um, we have Power BI, we have Excel. So I know Power BI. I know how to use Power BI to draw beautiful charts, to draw wonderful insights. And at the same time, I also know Excel. I know how to use Excel. I know how to write formulas. I know how to draw charts. I know how to draw pivot tables. I can even draw a beautiful dashboard from my Excel. But as good as those things are, there's a limit to which I can do. I only have 24 hours a day to actually carry out those things. So now, what if there was a way to actually write my Excel, write it faster, and even write it better? And this is where Copilot comes in. So we have Copilot that helps us to do two things: write our Excel better and write it faster. So now, what is this Copilot as we know it? Now, there's an era of artificial intelligence that we know as large language processing. Now, large language processing, what is large language processing? Large language models, rather. Now, when we talk about large language models are models that actually helps us to communicate in plain language. They are models that helps us to we can give commands to computers using regular English or our regular nuances or jargons. We can use that to communicate to the computer, and then the computer can understand us and give us back our information that we need. Now, gone are those days, not totally, but before you can communicate with the computer effectively, you need to know the codes, you need to know the terms, you need to know everything in detail before you can communicate with the computer. But right now, large language models have come to help us bridge the gap. So, for example, now everybody knows. If I ask how many of us have used ChatGPT before, majority of us are going to raise up our hands and say, yes, I've used ChatGPT before, I've used this, I've used that. But and this tells us to how much that these are influencing our everyday life. And so in Copilot is a large language model developed specifically by Microsoft. And this Copilot, the way it works is that it can be integrated into so many things. So what can it do? Because I want to we are talking about being a data analyst now. So I'm going to streamline my talk. I'm going to streamline it into what we have here. So that means I have Copilot that can help me write Excel formulas. Copilot can look at my data and help me to summarize my data. Copilot can look at my data and give me insights. And Copilot can look at my data and help me to automate the task. So if we have a task that is repeating in nature or repetitive in nature, it will take the data and help me to find a way to automate it. This is what Copilot can do in your Excel. Now, when you now bring this same Copilot and you bring it to Power BI, now in Power BI, Copilot can actually help us to create what we call DAX measure. Now, let me show. Tell me in the comment section how many of us actually have experience with Power BI. How many of us have experience with Power BI? Just give me your emoji, a thumbs up emoji, or you can even react to this. How many of us have experience with Power BI? You've done anything at all in Power BI? Anything? Okay, Uchechukwu has not. Oche, Joseph has. Yes, who else? Oluwatimileyin has not. Olisamona hasn't. Isaac, I don't think Isaac has. Okay, Adeyemi has. All right, all right. Okay, so many of you have not done anything in Power BI. Interesting. So now let's see. Maybe tonight, you are going to do your first task in Power BI with the help of our Copilot. So we'll see how we can use Copilot to do something in Power BI. So just take notes. Tonight you carry out your first task in Power BI using your Copilot. All right. So now that being said, it helps us to build DAX measures. Now, the reason I asked that question is actually to know so that I'll be sure that you understand what I'm trying to say. So when we talk about DAX measures in Power BI, now DAX is just a language that we use to communicate in Power BI. So it's a language that we use to write some codes. In as much as Power BI can be used to build dashboard, used to build some things interesting. Now we can also use DAX, which is the language, to write codes for Power BI. Then Power BI takes it and then gives us an output, just like when you do in your Excel when you're writing formula. So it can give us prompts for building visuals, and then it can also explain our insights for us in plain English. So this is what Copilot is, and many more. So Copilot can do all of this. It can show you how to do everything I've said here. And it would interest you when we start using the Copilot. It would interest you to see how we can apply all of these things into it. So now, but before we proceed, let's look at how we can get Copilot. So I've been talking of Copilot since. So how can we get this Copilot? How can we use it in our data? How can I use Copilot in my data? Now, first and foremost, the very first and common way to use Copilot is within your Excel. Now, that is if you are using Microsoft 365. Now, if you are not using Microsoft 365, you will not get Copilot. Then, in your Power BI too, for Power BI now, you meant to install Power BI on your laptop. You already have, you see a button. I'm going to show you all of those things now. You see a button on your Power BI that shows you Copilot. So you can use your Copilot from there. Now, another thing here, how many of us use a Microsoft OS? How many of us use Windows? How many of us use Windows? Give me a thumbs up if you use Windows. So Monarch, I guess you use Mac since you're giving me a thumbs down. Let me see how many of us are using Windows here. Okay, Darian, Jubril, okay, all right. So that means many of us here use Windows. So if you use Windows 11, that means you have Copilot. And I'm going to show you. If you use Windows 11, you have Copilot already. So if you're using a Chromebook, um, your Chromebook might not come with your Chromebook a might not come with it. I'm not so certain about that, but you can confirm. I'll show you how to check if you have your Copilot. So when we do the check, you can confirm if you have it or not. Okay. Oh, you are using MacBook Pro. So if you are using MacBook Pro, then that means you don't have it on your laptop. Now, another way you can have your Copilot is from Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge. And then the final way we can have it is Microsoft 365, the web version. Now, if you take notes, I actually asterisk two things. The one with the power within the app, which is the Excel and Power BI, and then the Microsoft 365, which is the web platform. You see these two services, for you to have co-pilots within them, they are paid. So you need to have a paid subscription. Now, good news for Microsoft 365, if you are within the US, yes, I'm sure of US, you can actually have one multiplier of co-pilots if you are within the US. And then for the Power BI, is an enterprise level application. So what do I mean by enterprise level application? It means that you have to work for an organization that has it. So if you are working for an organization and the organization actually subscribes to Power BI, that means you automatically have access to Power BI Copilot. So it's not something you can actually subscribe for by yourself. It's organization wide. It's not an individual subscription. And so that's why I now said, okay, we may not be able to have access to some of this feature, but then there has to be a way we can enjoy the same feature if we don't have access to it. Then for the Microsoft 365, which is the web version, it requires subscription. So once you have a paid version of your Microsoft 365 and you make subscription for the Copilot separately, it's going to be available for you on the web version. But if you don't pay for it, now there's one more thing I need to show you tonight, which is like a bonus. So just for many of you wondering, so what is Microsoft 365? What is Microsoft 365? Microsoft 365 is actually Microsoft Office. If you are familiar with Microsoft Office, 365 is the replacement for Microsoft Office. So Microsoft Office no longer goes with Microsoft Office. They now go with Office 365, where all of their tools have been moved. So just in case you didn't know before now, that is an extra information. And I'm going to show you how to get started. So you want to use Microsoft and it doesn't have all the features that you want. So how do we start? Where do we begin from? And what do we do? All of these are what I'm going to show you. Then when I'm done showing you, I will now show you how we can take advantage of Microsoft, of this Copilot to carry out our analysis. So when we come to the class proper, then we'll now take a look at some of the things more in depth. But for now, I want to show you how to set up, get your tools ready, and let's get started. So without even having to pay, if you are using a Windows and you have Microsoft Edge, two things. So you have two-edged sword that we can actually use to carry out our practice tonight. All right, so if you're ready for tonight's class, kindly give me a thumbs up. Okay, so yes, let's get started. Microsoft 365. So I'm going to show you first how to use Microsoft 365 for free. Then, when I show you how to use Microsoft 365 for free, I'll now show you how to also use Microsoft Copilot for free. Now, one thing about using this for free is that you are not going to get the same convenience that you will get when you use the paid version. And I'll show you the difference as we go on. But I really want, at the end of today, when you go back to your Excel and then you are carrying out your work, even yourself, you'll be proud of what you can achieve with what you have. So now, if you have Windows 11 and you have Microsoft Edge, kindly give me a thumbs up. And Windows 11 for the Mac OS, yes, it should be applicable. The free version should be applicable to Mac OS. So I'm going to show you how to create an account on Microsoft MS365. So when we create our account, then it should give you access to using it, to use these full services of Microsoft 365 on the web. And you're not just going to be having access to Excel, you are going to be having access to other things that Microsoft 365 have to offer. All right. And it's no trial period. You have full access, but just some things might not be there, but you have a full access to the latest version of Excel. Okay, so let's get started. Microsoft 365. That's where we are starting from. Then from there, we'll now move into. So we're starting with setting up our Copilot and then our 365 first, the Copilot, and we'll look at our other challenges as they arise. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my entire screen now. Okay, so can you all see my screen now? Okay, so can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen now? All right, so let's proceed with what we have there. Now, what we need to do is, do you have Copilot? Now, if you don't have Copilot, I'm going to show you how to have your Copilot. And if you're using Windows 11 and you don't have it, I'll show you what to do. And if you're also using Microsoft Edge and you still don't have it also, I'm going to show you how to add it to your Edge. So now let's get started with adding all of these things to our data. So the first thing I'm going to do is that to know whether you have Copilot. So you are going to press your Windows key. Now this is for those of us using Microsoft. If you are using Windows 11, so Copilot. So I'm going to type Copilot here. So as you can see, I have my Copilot. I have my Copilot. I have my 365 Copilot also. I have my 365 Copilot app. So you can confirm that from your end You can confirm that from your end. So if you don't have this, kindly, if you don't have this on your end, all you need to do simply is you need to update your Windows. Once you update your Windows, it's going to show you is going to show you how to get it done. All right. So update your Windows and then it's going to open the Microsoft Copilot for you. All right. So now I've gotten my Copilot app running. I've gotten my Copilot app running. So I can open any of my file here. So now this is the web. Remember I told you there is a web version. So this is the web version. But I'm going to show you how to get there as we proceed. I'm going to show you how to get there. So this is the app, but it runs on the web version. So trying to open a file. So I'll get, so now for the regular one, for the regular app, so Copilot. So for the regular app, this is what you're going to see on your laptop. This is what you are going to see if you are using Windows 11 for the regular app. You are going to see your Microsoft. You are going to see just Copilot. You see this symbol, that's what you are going to see. So everybody who uses Windows 11 is going to get to see this on their own end. Okay. So the moment I open it, my app like this, you can see that my data is on. You can see that my data is on. Okay, let me close this. So all you simply need to do is right from here, you can start asking any questions. You can start doing anything you want to do right from here. But remember, we are data analysts. So we are not just trying to do anything. We want to solve problems that are related to Excel and that are related to Power BI. So we are not just writing any query. We are actually very particular in what we are doing. Very, very particular with what we are doing. So I'm going to leave this for now, and then I'll go to the next source. I'll go to the next source. Now, for us, the next source that we are going to we are going to be using our Edge, Microsoft Edge. So we're going to be going to the next one, which is Microsoft Edge. So for Microsoft Edge, if you have your Edge, you will see something like this. If you check your Microsoft Edge, you'll see your Copilot signal here. So if I click on it, it does not require any account at all. All you just need to have is your Microsoft Edge. That's all. Once you have your Microsoft Edge and the Microsoft Edge is updated, you are going to get this available. So now, using this, it makes it easy for us to carry out our query. Now, remember I said something. If you don't have the paid version, it's not going to show up in your Excel app. So since it's not going to show up in your Excel app, so what can we now do to make it show up in our Excel file or in our Excel app? So that's why the next stage, which we are going to carry out, is that we are now going to see how we can register for Microsoft Office 365. If you look at my app here, if you look at the app, because I did have a Microsoft Office 365, so it allows me to do whatever I want to do. It allows me to use any of the apps I want to. It allows me to use any of the apps I want to use. So this is for me. I have my 365 running. All right. So for you now, you don't have your 365. running. So what we need to do is that we need to set up an account. So what I'm using here is that I'm using an account that does not that requires setup, so that way I can show you how to set up things yourself. So let's get started. Microsoft 365. So let me close this for now. Let's start. So if you are using Mac, you can also try this. Okay, I think Abdul Malik, I think it's from your end. You can drop off and join again. You can drop off and join again. All right. So now let's start. Microsoft Office 365. I'm going to click on the first prompt I'm seeing here on the first link, which is office.com. So let me copy the link and then send it to you on the chats. So I've dropped it in the chat. So in case you are wondering, where it is, I've dropped it in the chat. So now let's sign in. So let's sign up in case you don't have an account. So I'm going to sign up. We're going to sign up together. So let's sign up for our Microsoft 365. So I'm going to choose the email I want to use. So you can also follow my step and sign up yourself. So I'm going to get my code. So I can set up every other thing. I can set up every other thing here. So I'm going to pause on this so you can fill in the data from your end. Um, sure, you can. If you have a previous Microsoft account, you definitely can sign in with that. It also works. So I'm going to put Daniel. So for me, I'm going to skip that for now. I don't need that for now. Yes. So why is it giving me this error? So sign it. I've already put. So let's sign in. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, with this now, I have access. I have access to my Microsoft. So I've gotten my Microsoft account. So now we can actually use the Microsoft on the web. Now, let's see how we can use the Microsoft on the web. Now, if you look at it now, can you see the different apps? Can you see the different apps? I have my Excel, I have my Microsoft Word. Don't worry, I don't need that for now. So I don't need all these changes at the moment. So we have access to the different apps. You can see I have access to the different apps. I can use my Excel. I can use my Excel. Are you seeing it? So it's asking me to log in again. So I just need to verify my login. So I need to input something. So sorry. So how many of us have been able to get it this far? Give me a thumbs up if you've been able to set up your account successfully. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you've been able to set up your account. Okay. Only Abraham. Who else? Who else? I want to know you are following me. Okay, Darren, Ahmed, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now with that, so one thing I want to quickly show us before we proceed. So I'm going to drop a link on the, I'm going to drop a link. Remember I said I'm going to show us how to get, if you don't have it on your computer, I want to show you how to get it. So how do we get Microsoft Copilot on your desktop, on your PC? So I'm going to drop a link now. Just follow that link. Even if you're using a Mac, you can use it to get the Copilot directly on your laptop. So now drop the link on the call. You can follow that link. So now, as you can see, I have my account set up. I have my, I also have my Excel set up. So I can use my Excel if I want, and I can use my Microsoft Word if I also want. So those are the perks of actually using a those are the perks of actually using a the free version. So it gives you access to so many things that you have. But like I said, the Copilot is not inherently within this data. So because the Copilot is not there exclusively, so we are going to be using this Copilot alongside our Excel to carry out the next tasks that I want to carry out. Now, for those of us, like I promised, that we are going to be able to download the Copilot. So if you follow the link I gave us, it will take you here. It will take you here. Now, you see, it's asking you to download. If you look at the first, if you look at the first carousel here, it's asking you to download the Copilot app. So you can click on download just in case you don't have the Copilot the way I showed you initially. If you don't have it like this, you can just click on it, and then you have Windows desktop app and then the Mac desktop app. So if you're using a Mac, it's going to take you right here to see how you can download it on your Mac. All right. So can you give me a thumbs up if that is clear so far? All right. So this gives you opportunity to download it if you want to download it to your Mac notebook. So with that now, we've been able to set up the tools that we need. So the next thing we need now is let's start solving problems. It's not just about getting the tools or gathering the tools. We need to use the tools for something. And so, okay, when you click on download, it's going to download. For example, I already have it, but if I click on desktop app, for example, um, it's already asking me to download from my store, and then it's going to take me there. Now, when you are done, just go to Copilot. If you're using Windows, just go to Copilot, search for Copilot, you will see it. You see this app here, that is it. Once you see it, you would, if it's not responding, most likely it's a problem with your laptop, but definitely not the app. So you can try to check it again after this session and see how you can work on around it. All right, so we have our Excel cloud. Okay, so now let me sign in again. Good. So now I can start my analysis. So I can create a blank worksheet, which I'm not going to do. I already have a file I intend to work with. So I'm going to upload that file. So I'll just click on upload, and it's going to help me upload the file. So I'll select the file I want to work with. So you can select any file from your own computer. You can select any file of your choice. So for me, I'm using this file is a hospital file that I want to work with. So the moment you select the file, clicking the upload is going to help you to load the file, and then you can start carrying out all your activities on the file. So for me, this is the file I want to work on. This is the file I want to work in. So now it gives me different options. It gives me different tools. It gives me different styles that I can actually work on or work with. So for me, I'm not doing so much. I just want us to see how we can use Copilot. So with this now, for you, you can use any file, any Excel file of your choice to do this. So I've helped you to unlock an advanced Excel. Just by coming to this class, you've unlocked an advanced Excel for free. All right. Like I said, every function you will not see in older versions, you will find them here. So if probably you are doing your data analysis, okay, edit workbook, yes, convert. So once you start your data analysis and you're wondering, okay, I need Excel, you have Excel that has all the functionality that you can think of. So it has different functions. We have our X lookup, we have our sum function, and all of that. So I can sum all of this together using all those functions. So I have my sum. Can you see? I have my sum. I have my anything average. If I want to find the
No, we can't see
average,
it.
and all of that. Hello, I didn't get that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. So I guess maybe it's a network issue, maybe from your end. Okay. So now we have all of these things. We have all of these things in place. Free Excel. Free Excel. I'm not paying for this at all. So anything you want to do with this, you can continue to do with it. So, but let's go to our Copilot. Now, I can use my Copilot side by side. So this is Copilot side by side my Excel worksheet. So I have my Copilot here, I have my Excel here. So as I'm doing my analysis, I can come back to this Copilot and ask for ideas. Now, the reason I want to use this Copilot rather than this Copilot is because for this Copilot, I need to go, maybe ask the questions and come back here. But that's not what I want to do. I want that as I am working, I can see what I am working on. So basically, what I'm going to do now is I have my data. I'm a data analyst and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start from. So what do we do? Let's tell Copilot the problem. Remember, I can see what I'm doing alongside the code. So that means whatever it tells me to do, I'll go back and do it. And everything is side by side. All right. So now I can tell it that, okay, so let's see. I say, I have a data with the following columns.
So I'm not seeing what you are doing. No.
Can you check your network, please, and exit, then come back? Because from my feedback screen, I can see it. So you may want to check your network. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else who can't see what I'm doing?
Yes, clearly I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. You can see it clearly. All right. Thank you. So that means most likely the error is from his end. Okay. All right. So Now let's see how we can solve this problem. Let's see how we can do this using Copilot. So I have a data set with the following columns. Now, two things I'm trying to show you is how to use these tools to actually carry out data analysis properly. So I have a data set with the following columns. Now, I'll now copy all my columns. So let's come here. Let's come to my table. You can use the table you have. You can use the Excel file you have from your own end. Then I'll copy the columns.
Good evening.
And then
Sorry, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, Emmanuel, I can hear you.
Please, can you hear me? Please. I'd like to make a request.
I can hear you.
This is really an interesting class, right? And for some reason, possibly my network, I've not been able to see the most part of what you've been doing, you're sharing. So I was wondering if there would be
Yes, it's going to be recorded. I think your network is quite bad. Yeah, it's going to be recorded. Just make sure that you fill in the attendance and
thank you.
you are going to get the resources. Kindly fill in the link that is being dropped by Treasure and the Analytics business team, and you are going to get it. All right. Okay, so Treasure has dropped the link. You can just make sure you fill it in.
Sorry, I can't.
And then you get it. Okay, Treasure has dropped it again. He will drop it again so that you can follow up with the link. All right, so let's proceed then. Now, look at the thinking. I have a data set with the following columns. Now, this is me being a data analyst. Rather than just sitting down and start racking my head, where do I start from? What does this mean? I can tell you that I have the following data sets. I have the data set with the following columns. And then I tell it the columns. Now, by telling it the columns, so by telling it the columns, it automatically helps me to reason. So you can see, I can select the model that I want. Now let's see the response from our Copilot. Okay. Emmanuel, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, so now let's look at what ideas is giving us. Can we check the ideas that the model is giving us? So from here now, what can we see? It says, thank you for sharing your data set structure. It said, analysis idea. It said, we can carry out patient flow and efficiency. It also says that we can analyze demographics insights. It talks about the fact that it talks about time-based trends. It talks about data quality checks, and it talks about the visualization ideas. So these are things that we can probably do with our data. Okay, so now these ideas can actually be used by us to determine our final analysis. Now, this analysis that I want to do is already telling us that, okay, not just the visualization ideas, it's also telling us that it's also giving us the visualization ideas. You can see heat maps and all of that. So we can actually follow up this. We can follow up this to carry out our data analysis. I know the interesting thing is, for example, now I want to look at inserts. I can insert pivot table and it asks me where's my range, and automatically it helps us now to get the pivot table. Now remember that our data has told us that look at patient flow and efficiency, look at the demographic insights, look at all of this information, time-based trends, and the predictive modeling and all of that. So I can ask it that, okay, so I am using Excel. So how can I get started? Now with this, so now it's already telling me, giving me ideas of how I can use all of this information. So it's telling that, okay, awesome, I'm using Excel for this article. So what can I do? Now, are you seeing what it's saying? Are you seeing the different formulas? So it's telling me that, okay, so let's get started. You can remove duplicates. You can check for missing values. I can standardize formats. Then it's telling me that you can explore filters and sorting, and it's giving me specific things. Now let's see how we can use those specific things that it is giving us. Let's see how we can use those specific things it's giving us. So let me start. It says clean my data. You can clean your data by removing duplicates. So let's go to data. I'm following what it's telling us. So it says from data, I can remove duplicates. So let me show my ribbon. Okay, so let me go back to my original data. So from my data, it says I can remove duplicates from my data. Are you seeing it now? So now, without full knowledge of Excel, we can see how Copilot had already told us what to do. So data and remove duplicates. So I'll click on remove duplicates. Are you seeing now? It has already selected everything for us. It has selected all the columns for us. And then all I need to do is to click OK. And then it says no duplicate values found. So I've been able to clean my data without even doing so much. Now, look at how easy that is for us. Without having to press so much, we've been able to clean our data. All right, so now the next thing is, okay, check for missing values, use filters and blanks and all of that. So it tells us how we can actually, you can see, it tells us that how we can actually check for missing values. So you're asking yourself, how do I check for missing value? I'm carrying out my data analysis. How do I check for missing value? Copilot's already telling you that, look, you can just do it this way. So if I follow that, now I can say, okay, I should use filters. I can use filters and find blanks in key columns. So let's quickly try that. So I should use filter. Now, where do I find filters from? I can ask. So how do I use filter? So I'll hit enter. How do I use filter? How do I use filters? So can you see now? Select your header row, click on any cell in the row in your columns that contains your header. Can you see? It's already giving me specific instructions. And all of this for free. For free. We are not paying. And it says, okay, so Go there. Now, turn on your filters. How do I turn on my filter? So it says, where is it now? Sorry. Okay, let me brighten. Yeah. So it says turn on your filters. Go to data tab. Yes, I'm on data tab on the ribbon and click filter. This is it. He said you will see a small drop down arrow appear next to each column header. This is it. Now, it now said use the drop downs to filter. So can you see it now? Just like that. So okay. So just like that, we've been able to apply what we call a filter to the data. So let me go back and do this again. Filter and okay. All right. So now, just by following the instructions on the Google Copilot, I can see that I have all of this done. And I can continue like this, continue like this, continue like this, and I can start adding things. You can see how it's more like walking me hand by hand and making work easier. So something I could have just reached out to somebody and say, please, how do I do this? How do I do that? Just by using Copilot, I've been able to solve Excel problems like that. And I can also do other things. You can see it's very personalized, very personalized. It's telling me things I need to do. Can you see? Create pivot charts, which I have already done. I've already created my pivot charts. So it's telling me that I can filter and sort so that I can see what the extreme values are. Are you seeing that? So now apply filter. So it's telling me that I want to check what we call outliers, and it's giving me what to do. And it's telling me particular gender to do. So I should check for patient wait time. Where is it? This is patient wait time. No. Oh, this patient ID. Where's the patient's wait time? So this is patient's wait time in my case. It said I should find extreme by sorting it. So let me sort from largest to smallest. So patient wait time, the largest is 60, the smallest is 10. Good. So can I say there are extreme values? Maybe. Then it now says I should check departmental referral. Oh, okay. Age. I should check age too. Do I have extreme value? Sort your age. Smallest to largest. So I have age 1. I have the largest age is 79. So now looking at all of these things help us to see how we can make use of copilots in our Excel. Now let's look at one more thing. Now can you see it says we can create calculated columns. Now how can we create calculated columns? It even gives us the formula that we can use to create calculated columns. So let's see what does a calculated column says. He said add a column title for wait time category. So he said column title. So he said we should add it as column category. So let's see how we can add that. So I'm going to type that now. So it says column wait time. Now it now says we need to do 3 things. He said use formula wait time. So he said we should use this formula. So I'm going to come here equal to if let me copy this. Okay, no. Okay, so it said if our wait time, what's our wait time? Let's look for it. Um, patient wait time. I think this is it. So it said if wait time, if your wait time, which is G2, is less than what? Is less than 10. It says we should make it short. Short. Now, now says if that same wait time is less than, if that same wait time is less than 30, said it should be medium. He said it should be medium. And then finally, it says long. So now it's telling us that. So can you see that using just this alone, using just this alone, is giving us insights. It's giving us insight into how I can actually use my data. So if I double click on it now, you'll see I have several, I have several information. So some that are medium and long. So we don't have any patient wait time that is less than 10. So I can even tell you that, okay, so my wait time is between 10 and 60. So it's going to give us idea on how, it's going to give us idea on what to do. So are you seeing other things? So now, are you seeing other things that is telling us what we can do? So I can tell you that, okay, I want to change my wait time category based on this range. So I'm telling it what I want to do based on what is showing me. And so this is a very useful tool for the data analyst, because in this data analysis, is helping you to think. So that time when you sit down, and all of those times when you sit down, you are trying to think, oh, how do I get this done? How do I get that done? And then you are not so sure. So how do I get that done? Because you are not so sure. All of this, when you bring it to your co-pilot helps you to answer those questions. You understand? So this is how we use those things to solve problems. Now remember I said I'm going to show you something in Tableau, in Power BI rather. So I'm going to show you I'm going to share my screen on Power BI, and I'm going to quickly walk you through that the same way we can use um it in for Excel. It's the same way we can use it in our Tableau. Now, the only problem with Power BI is that Power BI has we cannot use Power BI on the web as it were. So we have to now use the Copilot. We have to use Copilot on the we have to use Copilot app that we have that I showed us earlier so that we can get this done. All right. So concerning not being able to fill the form, just reach out to Treasure. Treasure would show you how to get it done. All right. So now let's look at our Power BI. Power BI. Okay, so for our Power BI now, let's look at the different features we have on the Power BI, and let's see how. So I'm going to click on my home. Now, if you look at the Power BI, you can see on the Power BI, I have my Copilot also. So in these Copilots that you are seeing here in my Power BI, on this Copilot, um, we can actually, if you use an enterprise level app, so like this one, why I'm not putting so much emphasis on this Power BI is because for this Power BI Copilot, it requires an organization account. So it requires an organization account to get it done. So if you are working for an organization that actually uses, that has a paid version of Power BI, then it's going to give you access to all the functionality. Now, what can it do? It can actually look at your data. You know what all we've been doing since is that side by side, we were okay. I'll look at the data, I'll tell it to the co-pilot. Now, this one, the magic within this is that within your code, it can actually write out those things for you within your sheets. So I don't have to go and copy and paste. No, it knows my data and it can suggest my data for me. That's all I just need to do is to pick it and move it inside. And all of these things, these ones are part of the things we are doing in the main class where we are going to look at how to use all of this. But this is just like a taster session, and I'd like to call up Treasure to come and continue the talk from here. So from here now, I believe I've been able to show you so much tonight. I've been able to show you how to get free software, Microsoft 365, for free, whether on your Mac or on your Windows. And just it's not just limited to Office 365, Microsoft Excel. You can get PowerPoints. You can also use your Microsoft Word. So just in case you don't have those software on your laptop, just follow the steps I've highlighted previously, and then you can get started from there. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in our open program where we look in depth and solve problems in depth on this. All right, Treasure. Hello, Treasure.
All right, thank you so much, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. That was, sorry, I'm hearing myself echo. Yeah, that was an amazing session. If you had fun, every one of you had fun, give us your best reaction, a thumbs up, a confetti, clapping hands emoji. Let's get them. Let's get them. Thank you, Stroke. Thank you, Felua, Yusuf. Amazing work you have done, Daniel. I think just in about an hour, 15 minutes, you have learned quite a lot when it comes to using Copilot in Excel and just briefly what you can do in Power BI. But I promise you, there is so much more that you can make use of, or that can be done with Copilot, that can make your life a whole lot easier as a data analyst, a data professional, even as a customer professional, finance professional, making use of data, okay, making use of any of these tools. So I'm going to show you some more importance and how you can benefit at the moment. Going to continue the session by sharing my screen. But before I do that, I noticed that David asked a question in regards to Power BI. I want to know how many people here knows how to make use of Power BI or have ever come across Power BI as a tool? If you've done that, give me a thumbs up. If you've never heard of Power BI or you've never used it, give me a thumbs down. Okay, Insa has made use of it. I guess Ifeoluwa has given me a thumbs up. Muhammad, Isaac, Yusuf hasn't. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. So, based off the calculation right now, I can see a lot more people giving a thumbs up. But if you've not made use of Power BI or any of the data analytics tool, then I guess this is the session and part for you. So I'm gonna go ahead to continue sharing my slide. So after the fantastic session that Daniel has given in regards making use of Copilot, I guess there's quite a lot more ginger to understand why you are making use of Copilot in Microsoft. So one very important thing is, as a data analyst, you want to ensure that you are cutting down on the amount of time that you're using to clean your data, analyze, build dashboards. Everything is basically AI, okay? And you need to be able to jump on the bandwagon as soon as possible, because this is the only way to improve your skill set and take you from just being a data analyst, a data professional, to becoming an AI data professional, because that's where the world is going to. And if you don't have access or knowledge of this, you are going to be left behind. If you can see on my screen, or if you can see my screen clearly, you can see that I'm basically showing you individuals that were able to land remote roles abroad as well as in Nigeria, based off the fact that they had strong project portfolio. So nobody wants to be looking at your project portfolio and then there is basically no information in it, or it's not as clean as a data analyst should look like in terms of the dashboard and things you have on there. So we have professionals like Victor, who was able to, land a role after making use of his project portfolio that he has done on different projects, and then he was able to showcase it. So one thing that we pride ourselves here in analytics business is we take it a step further. You're not just coming to a class to learn basic practical skills. That's one aspect of it. It's practicals, it's theoretical, and then how to apply yourself in the market, how to land those jobs, especially for those individuals looking to get roles abroad, looking to get roles across different countries. One thing that you need to know is that it's very important for you to have your information and build in public. Okay, so if you're a data analyst and nobody has ever seen any dashboard that you've done, you are basically not going to be getting value for your skill set. You could be 5 years in the data analyst role, 6 7 years, and if you're applying for a role, someone with just 3 years, because they have a portfolio put together, they have just the right information. So this is where you need to think smart and think fast. You don't need to go through the ancient process of having to do these things manually. You can get AI to create dashboard based on the data that you have, and in less than 2 3 hours, you have your project portfolio ready for the world to see. So that's where, and that's the beauty of making use of AI in today's world. So that's just one aspect. And that brings me to the open program that we'll be having in starting next week, Saturday, September 13th. So September 13th, we are having 2 classes, okay? And if you really want to learn how to improve yourself as a data professional, or you want to learn in depth how to make use of or how to automate your workflow end to end, then the next set of slides are basically for you. So basically what we have starting next week, Saturday, is we have 2 different courses. They are different, but also very much intertwined. And the denominating factor between both of them is it's both making use of AI. Okay, so we have one generative AI just for data analysts and professionals, and then you have the other one that basically speaks to AI automation. Okay, so if you are a data analyst on this call, or a financial professional, customer success person, CEO, HR, this would be very, very helpful for you, your team, and your organization. And why do I say so? Imagine having to do different activities over 8 hours that can be done in just 30 minutes. You know how much you are saving in cost, how much you are saving in time. You can get yourself to do a lot more things just in a short space of time. And that is why you need AI. In as much as a lot of people try to shy away from AI and then have different cases why they don't want to use AI in terms of ethics. But with the way things are being built right now, you can make use of AI ethically. Okay. Some people worry because we've gotten quite a number of questions. Okay, if I'm using Microsoft Copilot, am I not sharing my data with the world because other people are also making use of that platform? But do you forget that you also have an email address, and that email address is being protected by Microsoft? So if you can do that, and your information, the emails that you're sending to your different clients has not been shared across different organizations, then why would AI, in terms of Microsoft Copilot, go behind your back to do the same thing? Because whatever AI tools is created under Microsoft is backed by the laws that protect all other aspects of Microsoft. So whether you're using emails or Excel, whatever tools you're using, the same laws that apply to that also applies to the AI tool, which is Copilot. So it's very, very, important. And just to create that awareness that AI tools, is just there to help your work a lot, to become a lot easier for you to do things. So that's why we have those tools. So coming down specifically to the classes we'll be having next week, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, that's to say that the classes are only going to be on weekends, because we understand that we have quite a number of professionals on the call and we want to sort of reach out to your needs. Okay, so we know you might not be able to attend classes during the weekdays, so the classes are only on weekends. So you have classes Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, Saturdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the classes will be done. And then on Sundays you can go to church, go to mosques, come back. The classes starts by 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it's basically adjusted to suit your timing and your needs. Okay, so for generative AI, what you basically be learning is some of the things Daniel already mentioned, but going in a deeper level. So how to use generative AI for data cleaning, for querying, and also how to make use of it for reporting. Okay, you'd also be learning things like generating your SQL queries and Python code with the use of AI. You'll be learning things like how to be able to forecast with the use of AI as well. And then finally, it's going to be more of like how to do predictive and advanced AI and advanced analytics with AI. The beauty of everything is after each of those specific tools or specific classes for the week, you have a capstone project. So if you are building a dashboard, you can also show the process, put it on your LinkedIn, and then would help publicize. Because the only thing, apart from your classes that you get to learn, you also have access to us placing you on our social media platform. So if you do really well, we will post your post that you made on the platform, and then we share it as many people. Because between Analytics and Analytics business, it's over 100,000 people. So it just helps you get your work in front of recruiters. And in case you are just looking to transition role, this would be a great way for you to do that. So that's some of the aspect that you have from the generative AI aspect. But if you know that data analytics, AI, you don't want to have that niche and you want it broaden in terms of automation in general, then we have the next one, which is becoming an AI automation engineer. And for that, it's still the same time slot. And basically what you'll be learning is how to do your prompting engineering. Okay, basically how to prompt your different tools, ChatGPT, Claude AI, GenSpark, to be able to give you the right information that you need. You'd also be learning the building blocks of AI agents. So you'll be creating your own AI agent, your chatbots, the different tools that you'll be making use of for your company, your organization, to make things faster for you. Okay, you'll also be learning things in regards to advanced AI automation. You'll be learning how to be able to create multi-agent system. You'll be learning how to use AI to call APIs, to perform calculations, to be able to browse, webflow automation, and basically also be able to integrate AI into Zapier, N8N, and different other APIs and security and governance for the tools that you're creating. So there's so much to be learned. And in that same vein, you have capstone projects. So the good part is you can take either one of these courses or you can take both of them. So just like you have this session being recorded and at the end of the day, we send you the recording, the other, when it comes to the classes as well, it follows the same process. So once we're done with the session, you would have access to the recording. So if you want to go for generative AI for data analyst, or you want to go for the AI automation class, you can do that. But if you want to go for both of them, you can also do that because you have access to the recording and the facilitator. So these are the open programs that we have. And once we are done with this, you have access to the internationally recognized certificate. So our certificate is approved and recognized by the American Council of Training and Development. So this is not only in terms of the use of the certificate. It's not only the fact that you have access to a certificate that you said is done and done for, but it's also approved by the American Training Institute. So you can use it anywhere, like absolutely anywhere in the world. And if you can see my screen, you see that we've done this training for quite a number of organizations, reputable organizations at that matter. So we have Kuda Bank, we have MTN, AfriInvest, Right Food, Advanced Nigeria, and Fair Money. We also have so many more like Arik Air, Mikano Motors that we've done the training for. So just to show you the extent in terms of how far our work has gone, I would also like to replicate for you. If you want this particular training, my colleagues will be dropping the link in the chat so that you can have access to the open program and you can register for it. And once you have access to that, we would get in touch with you as soon as possible. So that's what we have coming up for the open program. And one important thing is pricing. Okay, how much is it going to cost? So originally the price is 200,000 naira, but at the moment we are running 50% to 75% discounts, and this is as a result of the 50th anniversary that Analytics is clocking 5. So based off that, we are running discounts for the program. So as you can see on my screen, for generative AI, for data analyst and professional, instead of you paying 200,000 naira, you'll be paying just 50,000 naira. And the good part of it is you can either pay full payments or you can pay 2 installments. So you can either pay 25,000 naira, 25,000 naira at the start of the program, which is now, and then 25,000 naira 3 weeks into the training. So you have that flexible plan. And this is only going to be for this cohort. That's the September cohort. Once we move into October, prices revert back to normal. So if you don't grab the slots now, by next month, you are paying double the price, just to let you know on that aspect. Okay. And then for awesome AI automation engineer, instead of you paying 200,000 naira, you have a 50% discount and you'll be paying 100,000 naira. So like I mentioned earlier, you can either pay full payments or you can pay in 2 installments. So you can pay 50,000 naira now and then 50,000 naira 3 weeks into the training program. So these are the options that we have available. And you're going to be having 8 weeks class. It's going to be live classes. You also have access to the LMS. So you have pre-courses before your classes start, where you go through the information end to end, and then you have your live classes with your trainer. You might also have questions and you want to reach out to the trainer. You would also have access to the trainer during the course of your session and even after the program has ended. So we offer on-the-job support as well as post-training support. So these are some of the benefits that you have. But just to reiterate, this discount only lasts for this September cohort, and if you miss it now, because registration will end soon, latest by Monday we close up registration, you would not have access to it anymore. So that's some of the benefits that you'll be getting from the training session. So if you want to make payments and register, the account details and all the information will be shared on the chat, and we'll pick up conversation with you. So this is just to show you some of the things that we've done so far. So we were able to get into the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program in 2024, and we got into another Catalyzer program in 2025. You can always read the article when we've shared across the resources from the training session. So this is the certification that I mentioned. You'll be getting the training certification from Analytics itself. And Analytics, like I mentioned, is accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So this is how your certification will look like, and you can make use of it anywhere in the world. So if you come here, you'd see some of our success stories. So individuals that we've helped that moved abroad in terms of going into the UK for their masters, and after getting through our data analytics program, they were able to get like a full sponsored fully sponsored visa to work as a data analyst with NHS. You have Ramat, who was a customer success rep, and then she was able to get a job as a business architect with NHS. This is full visa sponsorship. You have Tony, who was a pharmacist, who was also able to get a job, and there are so many more. Okay, we have so much testimonies. So when we share across the slides with you, you can also review it yourself. So this one day could be you. We can also showcase you, when you actually get that job role. But for you to do that, you need to take the first step by investing in your future, and then we'll provide you with the necessary support as much as possible. So that is basically what we have for today. So apart from the open program, if you know you have specific training needs for your organization and you want something customized and tailored, like I always would mention, we are not only playing in the tech space. If you want training in your soft skills, just let us know, and then we'll be able to provide support and take you on that training session. At this point, if you have stayed with me till this point, you can let me know if you have any questions, and then we can take it up from there. Any questions, guys? If you have any questions, you can let me know by chat and we would respond to that as soon as possible. All right, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much, guys. If you know you don't want to send a message in the chat and you also want to reach out to me because I'm getting quite a number of messages, you can always send me a message on my number and I would respond to you as soon as possible. I've also dropped my email address if you have any questions, and we'll take it up from there. You can reach out to me by my number and we would respond as soon as possible. If you're also looking to register for the open program, I've also dropped the link in the chat, and you can also go through the registration process on there. All right. Are there any other questions before we call it a day? I'll take the silence as a no question, and then thank you. Pretty interesting one. Looking forward to seeing you in class. Come next week, Saturday, and we would basically have so much fun together. It was a pleasure having a session with you today. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and then we'll take it up from there. If there are no further questions, I think we can call it a night. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.